afternoon. I will begin my speech today with a Moroccan proverb that says, "There is no beauty but the beauty of action." I am truly honored to deliver the 10th State of Devolution Address, SODA, since the inception of the devolved system of governance in 2013, and the first in this third cycle of county governments. My address today will be a story of the collective actions that counties have taken in this financial year and the impact those actions have had on service delivery. I read this State of Devolution Address cognizant that the county administration are only 10 months in after the 2022 general election. To refresh our minds, 11 governors and a direct re-election, 8 pioneer governors were re-elected, and 28 new governors got elected. 40 deputy governors are new, with 2 former deputy governors being elected as governors. And ladies and gentlemen, we have 15 of the new governors having crossed over from the 12th Parliament. Allow me to also mention another context within which I make my address today. This year, our devolution baby turns 10. It is said that 1 decade is long enough to change the looks of mountains and rivers. Indeed, the make and look of the counties we see now is very different than the ones of 2013. The journey from local authorities to fully fledged county governments has been eventful. Devolution's 10th anniversary is a celebration of the successes, the challenges, and the lessons we have learned as we watched our baby crawl, walk, run, and now flying. We have had difficult seasons, but even then, we have not relented. Despite the challenges that sometimes have near paralyzed counties, a close examination reveals that over the last decade, remarkable strides in service delivery are dotted all over Kenya, and all thanks to devolution. Fellow Kenyans, on finance, in the last 10 years, county governments have received a total of 2.9 trillion Kenya shillings of equitable share. This translates on average to about 30% of audited and approved revenues and 20% of ordinary revenue. Further, over the same period, county governments have received a total of 213 billion in conditional grants from the development partners and 147 billion in conditional grants from the national government. However, there is one question that has been asked over and over again. Are the allocations disbursed to the county governments adequate to enable devolved units effectively deliver services spelled out in the 4th schedule of the Constitution? The total projected revenue for budget implementation in the financial year 2022-2023 amounted to 484.1 billion, which consists of equitable share allocation of 399.6 billion, including 29.6 billion being the June 2022 allocation carried forward from the financial year 2021-2022. Additional allocations from both the national government and development partners amounting to 22.52 billion and projected on-source revenue of Kenya shilling 61.98 billion. Out of this allocation, a total of Kenya shillings 399.9 billion has so far been disbursed to the county government as equitable share, equivalent to 100%, and we must thank the national government because last year we crossed the financial year with a balance of about 2 months. So we have received 100% of our equitable share. Kenya shillings 14.52 billion of the 17.16 billion additional allocation from development partners, representing 85% of the total allocation from the development partners. As of the first 9 months of the financial year 2022-2023, governments generated a total of 28 6.77 billion on-source revenue, translating to 46.4% of the annual target of 61.98 billion. This was an improvement of 6% compared to 27.09 billion generated in a similar period in the financial year 2021-2022. Further analysis of OSR as a proportion of the annual target indicates that Kitui, Kirinyaga, and Samburu counties achieved the highest performance of 84.6%, 80%, and 69.8% respectively. With respect to the settlement of pending bills, as at the end of the third quarter of financial year 2022-2023, counties reported partial settlement of pending bills to a tune of Kenya shillings 26.21 billion. Elgeyo Marakwet County has since settled all outstanding pending bills. However, as of 31st March 2023, the outstanding pending bills for county governments amounted to 159.73 billion, with Nairobi City County accounting for 64.4% of pending bills as at Kenya shillings 102.81 billion. The high pending bills are largely attributed to delays in disbursement of equitable share by National Treasury and outstanding pending bills that have been carried over by various regimes. Fellow Kenyans, in the health sector, county governments have incrementally funded preventive and promotive health, improved patient care and diagnostic capacity, and increased the health workforce. In order to boost access to health services at the lowest level, county governments have recruited approximately 107,839 community health promoters, who are formerly called community health volunteers, and their invaluable contribution is recognized through stipends. Worthy of mention is that CHPs have contributed significantly to the increased level of immunization amongst children in communities, revitalizing CHP programs and revamping primary health care networks, that is in level 1, 2, and 3, and is aimed at advancing preventive and promotive health with the intended goal of decongesting the facilities at level 5 and 6. Counties have progressively increased or maintained their health allocation at 30% of the county budgets, a clear demonstration of counties' commitment to the delivery of affordable, accessible, and quality health care. Further, ring-fencing health funds remains a priority to ensure health facilities can comfortably self-finance their operations and maintenance costs. Thus far, 27 counties have enacted the Facility Improvement Financing Act, and 16 counties are already implementing their FIF Acts. The other 20 counties are in the process of having their FIF legislation enacted. Forging partnerships with development partners such as USAID in development of programs such as M-Mama has led to digitization of health services at the county level. In addition, drones are being utilized for emergency vaccine and blood product transportation. Automated medical records are streamlining patient information management, and technology is being harnessed to monitor and address non-communicable diseases effectively. The results of these healthcare investments are evident. A motivated health workforce in county health facilities, increased access to comprehensive antenatal care, reduced infant mortality rates, and increased use of technology for improved health outcomes. To illustrate this, the under 5 mortality rate has decreased from 52 per 1,000 to 41 per 1,000, and the infant mortality rate has declined from 39 to 32 per 1,000. The rate of skilled birth deliveries has increased by 13% to reach an impressive 89%, while deliveries in facilities have improved by 10% and is now at 82%. My hope is that both levels of government will continue to closely collaborate and coordinate the delivery of healthcare to all Kenyans. I would like to inform you all that in consultation with the Ministry of Health, the Managed Equipment Services Program that has now been replaced with the National Equipment Support to Counties Program, NESC, and it will be implemented through the signing of Intergovernmental Partnership Agreement, IPAs, between the county government and the Ministry of Health. Dear Kenyans, in the agricultural sector, county governments have allocated an average of 7.3% of their budget to agriculture. These investments have gone into, amongst others, mechanization, increased inputs, access for farmers, distribution of irrigation kits, seeds and seedlings distribution, and extension services. The impact of these initiatives has been documented by the 2023 Economic Survey Report, which has recorded that despite the failed rains and prolonged drought, agriculture remains the dominant sector, accounting for about 21.2% of the overall GDP. County governments have made budgetary allocations aimed at reviving cash crops, production and value addition. On the same breath, we are keen to see robust reforms in the coffee, tea, rice subsectors, which is why we remain supportive of the national government in their effort on the same. Livestock commercialization is also a priority for counties. On this premise, county governments have invested in, amongst others, animal vaccination, purchase of breeding stock to enhance livestock rearing, and construction and rehabilitation of cattle dips. On urban governance, county governments and municipalities have demonstrated their commitment to promoting sustainable and orderly urban development within their respective jurisdiction. In the last 1 year, 8 additional counties have approved their county physical and land use plans and county spatial plans, bringing the total to 15 counties with approved plans. Further, 18 of the county governments are at different stages of preparing the county spatial plans, underscoring the ongoing commitment to effective urban development. Additionally, 26 municipalities were granted municipal charters in the past 1 year, bringing the cumulative number of municipalities to 90. This underscores our commitment to effective urban governance. In the roads and energy sector, county governments have been allocated over 127,000 kilometers of total road network in the country. Within the period under review, county investments in the road sector have included opening up of new roads to expand connectivity and improve accessibility within and between counties, upgrading roads to bitumen standards to enhance durability and safety, and rehabilitating rural roads to improve mobility and boost economic activities in rural areas. In the energy sector, county governments have made significant strides in developing county energy plans to guide the sustainable utilization of energy resources within their jurisdiction. Currently, 15 counties have already developed their CEPs, with others actively working on theirs. These plans are crucial in promoting efficient and sustainable energy usage within the country. Fellow Kenyans, in the trade and investment sector, in line with the President's bottom-up economic transformation agenda, county governments have in the last 1 year prioritized initiatives that seek to incentivize the growth of micro, small, medium-sized enterprises. This is evidenced by the following: construction of new markets to increase spaces for trading activities, automation of business registration services and licensing processes, capacity building of MSMEs, establishment of credit guarantee schemes and enterprise funds, provision of tax incentives, and development of investment portals. Counties have taken significant steps to promote county-level investments by establishing investment agencies, special economic zones, and county aggregation and industrial parks. Others have supported cooperative societies in value addition and made significant investment in infrastructure to create an enabling environment for business to thrive. In tourism and wildlife, county governments are cognizant that the tourism sector provides immense opportunities to raise revenue. Moreover, counties are positioning themselves as conference and meeting destinations. In light of this, counties are implementing various strategies to enhance tourism and wildlife development. Lamu, Homa Bay, Kisumu, Nairobi, Tharaka Nithi, and Kakamega counties have successfully organized and conducted cultural and tourism festival platforms to showcase each county's rich cultural heritage, traditions, and local attractions. Counties have cumulatively established and are managing public recreational facilities, including public beaches, cultural sites, parks, museums, cinemas, libraries, and theaters. With effective promotion, strategic marketing, and targeted investment, these diverse tourism attractions have the potential to generate substantial revenue for the counties and stimulate economic growth while preserving and promoting their cultural and national or county heritage. Dear Kenyans, in the natural resource management sector, first, let me remind you that in 2021, the Council of Governors, in collaboration with key stakeholders, convened the Annual Devolution Conference, whose discussions focus on subnational climate action. It is at the local level where the fight against climate change will be won. County governments are and will remain to be the focus for climate action. In this regard, county governments have made significant milestones in the NRM sector as follows: establishment of county environment committees, CECs, development of climate change related policies and acts, regulations and action plans, operationalization of county climate change funds, promoting clean energy through solarizing water pumps, conducting environmental education and public awareness on waste, reuse and recycling, construction and underground tanks and rock catchments for water harvesting, installing metered community water points, and protection of water springs and boreholes through fencing. In supporting the national government in achieving the 15 billion tree target in the next 10 years, county governments have undertaken rigorous tree growing exercises to mark significant events such as the International Day of Forests, the World Environmental Day, and the upcoming Devolution Conference 2023. From March 2023, all 47 counties have grown 7,336,548 tree seedlings and established 100,822 tree nurseries. These efforts reflect the substantial progress made in reforestation initiatives and underscore the determination of county governments to achieve their environmental objectives. Ladies and gentlemen, in the nascent blue economy sector, to ensure sustainable utilization of blue economy resources, conservation of ecosystem, food security, stakeholder engagement, and social equity, counties have developed policies on fisheries and aquaculture. Counties have also been implementing several programs to enhance fisheries and aquaculture development, such as Aquaculture Development Program in 15 counties. The Kenya Marine, Fisheries and Socio-Economic Development Project KEMSED, in the 5 coastal counties, and initiatives like the Green Employment Agriculture Program, Agricultural Finance Initiative Program, and Kakamega County Fish Subsidy Program. To support the growth of fisheries and aquaculture, counties have distributed fish feed to farmers, constructed new fish markets, offered blue economy courses in education and vocational centers. Fellow Kenyans, in pre-primary and vocational education, county governments cumulatively allocated about 8.68 billion to the pre-primary education function, translating to an average of 2.2% of the county's budget. Consequently, in the school year of 2022, enrollment in pre-primary education levels 1 and 2 increased by 4.7%. This increase in enrollment can be further attributed to the incentives provided by county governments in pre-primary centers like feeding programs and child-friendly facilities. The number of ECDE teachers employed also increased, thereby leading to an improved pupil-teacher ratio. In the school year 2022, there has been notable growth in enrollment in vocational education and training programs, primarily due to increased interest amongst the youth and enhanced investment by county governments. In gender, culture, social services, youth, and sports sectors. In the financial year 2022-2023, counties allocated a total of 812,308,180 Kenya shillings to gender programs. Counties have offered Kenya shillings 933,513,512 worth of credit benefiting women, men, and persons with disabilities. A further allocation of Kenya shillings 460,844,676 was made towards culture initiatives such as establishing cultural centers, observing cultural events, facilitating youth to participate in drama and music festivals, and developing culture and heritage policies, amongst others. The growth of social service programs in counties is evidenced by counties such as Mandera that have resettled the vulnerable by identifying and constructing better housing units and washrooms for them. On the other hand, Kakamega County built shelters for vulnerable households through its shelter improvement program, targeting 1,800 families, while Wajir County established Disability Fund to benefit persons living with disabilities. For the young people, county governments disbursed 881 million shillings for youth interventions, including credit facilities and grants. Kwale, Embu, and Bomet counties have established talent centers to promote talent identification and development. And recognizing the powerful role of sport, county governments have invested in building and rehabilitating sports facilities. Dear Kenyans, in their disaster and risk management, prone to natural disasters like floods, droughts, and landslides, Kenya has endured various calamities that have significantly impacted the lives and livelihoods of its people. During the fiscal year 2022-2023, a severe drought affected roughly 5.2 million individuals and around 9.8 million livestock were lost. Understanding the pressing needs of their population, county governments largely focused on reinforcing the disaster risk management sector by developing comprehensive policy and legal frameworks. From this, county governments were able to collectively allocate a substantial budget of 7.88 billion in response to disasters and established more than 61 emergency operation centers across the country. Response efforts comprised procuring essential supplies like food, livestock feeds, range cubes, molasses, and mineral blocks, and water tracking was organized to meet the needs of the impacted communities. With regard to human rights and intergovernmental relations, on intergovernmental relations, the President has so far convened one summit meeting that was held on 11 February 2023, where key issues that affected devolution, including matters to do with health, agriculture, sports, education, and housing, among others, were discussed. While the summit did not achieve its statutory threshold of 2 meetings this past year, the CoG will continue to ensure better relations with various intergovernmental bodies to achieve the objectives of devolution. We will remain committed to the actualization of Article 6.2 and Article 189 of the Constitution, which underpin the principles of consultation, collaboration and cooperation, and coordination in performance of functions and the exercise of powers. In the exercise of its mandate of facilitating capacity building for governors and county governments, Council of Governors inducted the county leadership upon assumption of office. The induction began immediately after Excellency Governors swearing in, with the first induction for Excellency Governors and Deputy Governors being held between 14th and 18th of September 2022. This was followed by sector inductions of county executive members, chief officers, county attorneys, county secretaries, and directors. The CoG further supported individual county governments and individual officers who sought support. Further, the third generation of governors held their inaugural Council of Governors meeting on 17 September 2022 after a week-long induction. In addition, we have held 4 ordinary meetings where key matters have been discussed, including division of revenue, equitable share of revenue, delayed disbursements of funds, and programs that are current under implementation. On unbundling and transfer of functions, the President, in his inaugural speech, committed to transfer all the devolved functions being undertaken by the national government. Pursuant to this, the Intergovernmental Relations Technical Committee, in October 2022, in collaboration with key stakeholders, including the CoG, embarked on an exercise to provide clarity on all function areas currently identified to be creating confusion and ambiguity between the 2 levels of government. Upon the conclusion of the exercise, a functions analysis bill shall be submitted to Parliament, which will be expected to provide clarity on the performance of all constitutionally assigned functions to the county governments. An omnibus bill is also under development to amend all identified legislations found to impede the effective implementation of devolved functions. Fellow Kenyans, we are in the last decade of the implementation of the Sustainable Development Goals. Voluntary local revenues have emerged as a vital mechanism for sub-national governments to report on the localization of SDGs, drawing on their communities' experiences and practices and engaging in their population in the pursuit of the goals. In this regard, 7 counties, which is Busia, Marsabit, Narok, Makueni, West Pokot, Nakuru, and Vihiga, have actively participated in the voluntary subnational review. The CoG has provided technical support to all 47 county governments to mainstream the SDGs into their development plans. Also, the CoG organized the SDG Awards in partnership with the National SDG Interagency Technical Working Committee. Makueni, Marsabit, and Vihiga counties were rightfully acknowledged for their exemplary commitment to encourage other counties to follow suit. And we encourage other counties to follow suit. On knowledge sharing and peer-to-peer learning, in the financial year 2022-2023, the CoG partnered with USAID to enhance and revamp the Marifa Center, primarily focusing on improving its user experience and navigation. This collaboration resulted in a significant 30% upsurge in website visits within 6 months. As a result, the Marifa Center has firmly established itself as a leading, influential platform for knowledge sharing and peer-to-peer learning. The online platform, which is marifa.cog.go.ke, has documented 51 county success stories, a slight growth from 31 initiatives covered in the previous financial year, highlighting essential county success stories and good and best practices related to service delivery. Additionally, the Marifa Center has published the 2nd, 3rd, and 4th editions of the Compendium of County Innovations and Best Practices, which serve as a valuable resource for acknowledging and highlighting success stories from diverse counties. Dear Kenyans, I started this address with a proverb. Let me now conclude it with another one. The Zulu people have a saying, Omuntu, Ngumuntu, Gabantu. Omuntu, Ngumuntu, Gabantu. A person is a person because of other people. The success of devolution is rooted in synergy, collaboration, and cooperation between both levels of government, development partners, civil society, and faith-based organizations, private sector, professional association, academia, and the media. But at the top of that pyramid is the Kenyans that we serve. We all need each other to build on the many successes witnessed in the devolved system of governance. It is evident that devolution has been the governance game changer in our country. As I wind up, allow me, ladies and gentlemen, and Excellencies Governors, to invite you to the Devolution Conference 2023 to be held in Eldoret, Uasin Gishu County from the 14th to the 19th of August 2023. This event will be this year's Devolution Fiesta, bringing together more than 6,000 delegates to celebrate a decade of devolution. I now invite my esteemed fellow governors also to proceed with delivering the state of county addresses in their respective jurisdictions. Here is to the prosperity of our 48 governments and the unity of the Kenyan nation. May God bestow blessings upon all Kenyans. May God bless our beloved country, Kenya. I appreciate your attentive presence, and I thank you all very much. Asanteni.